$750,000 families are finding out that they owe more in taxes than they thought. Now, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is calling out the IRS. This comes after the agency determined Arizona's child tax rebate, a direct deposit that thousands of families got last year, is subject to federal taxes. Mays sent a letter to the IRS last week requesting the agency reconsider its decision. She called the decision, quote, arbitrary and inconsistent, and said taxpayers in other states with similar programs did not get taxed. So joining me now for the backstory on this is 12 News journalist William Pitts. William, you covered this last week. So why is it that Arizonans are getting taxed and not others, with similar programs in other states?
Well, we really have no idea, and that's because the IRS has not responded to any of our requests over the last 2 weeks or so. We tried to get them again today, and no explanation as to what is different about this than any of the other programs in some of the other states. The only thing that I can find that's a little different is those were in 2022, this is in 2023. There was a COVID emergency declaration that expired between 22 and 23. That's sort of hinted at a little bit in previous OKs of the 2022 programs.
Yeah.
But as far as why, we really don't know.
All right, so now that the AG is officially involved, what happens next?
What happens next is the IRS either listens to the Attorney General, you can try and fight the IRS, or the Attorney General basically has to go to court and try and find a way to find it that way. Whether or not she will, that's up in the air, but the IRS is kind of the final word on what it's going to tax.
Yeah, and that's a big behemoth right there in and of itself. Okay, what does this mean for Arizonans? What, if any, can we do? Okay,
this means, unfortunately, that you have work to do because if you got this tax credit, you now have to have another form for your taxes. It's called the 1099 MISC, or miscellaneous. Okay. I got a letter today, or actually a couple of days ago, that said, you're going to have to get this form, but we're not going to mail it to you. We're going to mail you the letter telling you we're going to have to get you the form, but not the actual form. There's going to be a link on the State Department of Revenue's website where you have to go, put in your information, then they'll give you the form, then you have to take that for your taxes. It's a whole process. You have more steps to follow. But that link's not even going to be available until after January 31st. So you can't go ahead and do it right now.
All right. So kind of mark your calendar. I'm sure we will remind you as well. I'm sure you'll be on it as well to remind them. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. And, you'll lead us through the process, of course. All right, William, thank you.